Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is your weekly astrology horoscope for the week of 7th to 13th March 2022. And on my channel, I post weekly horoscopes, new moon horoscopes, and full moon horoscopes. And you can watch those if you are interested. So let's get started now. I will give the background of the energies that we're entering the week with. Then I will talk about the energies for this week. And then I will pull a few cards for the week's energies. So let's get started. Now, the background section of this video is a little more than I usually do. And that's because last week was an intense week, right? So let's talk about the background energies that we are entering this week with. Now, the first thing is that we had a new moon in Pisces last week on 2nd March. Now, that new moon in Pisces energy will continue this week, and that energy is about closing out the past, letting go of the past from our subconscious, and embracing universal love and compassion. So that energy, that work continues this week. The second thing I want to talk about is the Mars-Venus-Pluto conjunction that happened last week as well, and will continue this week with a lesser intensity. Now, Mars and Pluto, when they come close, it can manifest in two ways. One, intense energy, intense drive to really make things happen, or intense aggression, intense frustration, intense anger. And the key to managing this energy is by focusing on getting things done and taking action, right? So that's the second thing, the Mars-Pluto conjunction. And with Venus there, with Mars and Pluto, right, it can bring into focus our relationships, our projects, how we feel about ourselves as well. And we might be required to transform our projects, our relationships, or how we feel about ourselves. And this process, this transformation that we are trying to make is not new. It's been on since 19th December 2021 because Venus went retrograde with a conjunction to Pluto back then. Again, details for this are in my last week's video if you want to know more. So that's the second thing about this week, right? That Mars-Venus-Pluto conjunction energy will continue with a lower intensity this week, and that energy can manifest as intense drive and energy to make things happen and get things done, or immense aggression, immense power struggles, immense frustration, immense anger. And the key to channel that energy is by doing things, taking action, and also focusing on Venus love, right? Love, universal love and compassion, Pisces. So that's the second thing. The third thing is that we are coming into this week with the Mars-Venus conjunction. Now, for a couple of weeks or so, Mars and Venus have been really close, and the conjunction came exact on March 6th, right? Mars and Venus so close can manifest in two ways as well. One, intense passion, intense energy for our projects, for our relationships, for our self-worth, values, etc., or intense frustration and anger about the same things. So again, this week, Mars and Venus will continue to be really close, which means that energy of either being extremely frustrated or having a lot of passion for our projects, relationships, or self-worth continues, right? Before we move forward, I'm going to go back a little bit to the second thing that I mentioned with the Mars-Venus-Pluto conjunction, that towards the end of this week, this Mars-Venus-Pluto conjunction energy will ease off, right? By the end of the week, Venus will be at 6 degrees of Aquarius, Mars at 5 degrees, and Pluto will be at 28 degrees of Capricorn, which means towards the end of this week, the intensity that we felt last week with the Mars-Venus-Pluto will start to slowly ease off. Now, the next thing I want to mention is that Venus and Mercury are out of their retrograde zones, right? Venus retrograded from 19th December 2021 to 29th Jan 2022, and finally now it's moved out of the area it retrograded over. And Mercury as well. Mercury retrograded from Jan 14th to Feb 3rd, 2022, and now it's out of its retrograde zone as well, which means new territory when it comes to projects, relationships, self-worth, values, skills. Venus and Mercury as well, our day-to-day routine, habits, lifestyle, job, social media, etc. Now, the last thing that I will speak about in the background section of the video is that Mars and Venus entered Aquarius on March 6th, right? Venus especially has spent a long time in Capricorn, right? It's been there for a few months now because it retrograded in Capricorn. And Venus in Capricorn is a very serious energy. It's a very serious energy when it comes to our projects, our self-worth, our values, our finances, our relationships. And Venus in Capricorn is about, can I be serious about this relationship? Can I be serious about this project? Can I do it for the long run, right? And this was the goal of the Venus retrograde, to review our relationships, projects, self-worth with the mindset of, okay, what stays, what goes, what can I do for the long run? And in many ways, we also were looking to transform these things in certain ways, whether it's how we feel about ourselves, our appearances, our projects, or our relationships, because it retrograded in a conjunction with Pluto. But now it's that process is done, right? Venus in Capricorn energy is over now. It ended on Sunday, March 6th. And Venus in Aquarius is different. Venus in Aquarius brings with it a detached energy when it comes to relationships, projects, self-worth, value, skills. But more than detached, it's an energy that says, I'm going to do what's right for me. This is unique to me. I am a unique person. This is what is authentic to me when it comes to my relationship or my project, and I'm going to do it my way. So we'll see that shift, right? The Capricorn seriousness. Capricorn is a very serious energy. I'm not saying if you're a Capricorn, you're serious. I'm just saying Capricorn energy can be very serious, right? So now that seriousness will start to go down a little bit. It'll be more about, okay, you know what? This is what works for me. I don't really care what works for anybody else. This is what works for me. I'm going to do it my way. So that will kick in when it comes to our projects, our relationships, how we feel about ourselves, even our appearances, right? It's like, I like this haircut. I'm going to do it. I don't care whether it's in, whether it's not in. I don't really care. So that's the energy of Venus in Aquarius. And Mars in Capricorn, which it has been since December, right, is again a very serious energy. Mars loves Capricorn. Mars in Capricorn is all about taking action, making things happen, right? Mars is the planet of making things happen, of taking action, of our drive, of our energy. And Capricorn is very serious. It's very disciplined. It's about hard work as well. So Mars really likes Capricorn and it works really well there, which means a lot of focus on doing things, a lot of focus on taking action. And again, with a very serious approach. But Mars in Aquarius is different. Mars in Aquarius is, again, I'm going to make things happen my way, right? I'm going to take action my way. So we'll see this subtle shift in energy, and with Mars and Venus leaving Capricorn, now we only have Pluto left in Capricorn, right? Towards the beginning of the year, we had a lot of energy in Capricorn. We had Mars there, Venus was there, Mercury was there, and Pluto, 4 energies in Capricorn. And like I said, Capricorn is a very serious energy. So there's been this seriousness since the beginning of the year, right? But now Mercury left Capricorn a while ago, but now Mars and Venus have also left Capricorn and entered Aquarius. And right now we have 3 energies in Aquarius and 1 in Capricorn. Mars and Venus are in Aquarius, and so is Saturn. So the Aquarian energy is there. It is highlighted now, and Aquarius is a more detached energy. It's about the people. It's about freedom. It's about raising our vibration. It's about expanding our consciousness. It's about being our unique self, being our authentic self, right? And that being said, towards the end of the week, we'll have a lot of energy in Pisces as well. We have a lot of energy in Pisces as we speak, but this week, Mercury will also enter the sign of Pisces, which means 4 energies in Pisces. The Sun is in Pisces, Neptune is in Pisces, Jupiter is there, and now Mercury will join all of them. And what this means is that in many ways, there'll be a subtle shift, right? Pisces is a more free-flowing energy. So that will kick in. I will talk more about this when I talk about this week's energy. Coming back to the background energies, so on Sunday we could have started to feel this subtle shift, and that's pretty much it when it comes to the background. Now let's talk about the energies for this week, and now I will talk about Mercury in Pisces, right? So Mercury will leave the sign of Aquarius and enter the sign of Pisces on Wednesday, March 9th. And Mercury is our logical mind, it's our thinking, it's our day to day, it's our lifestyle, it's our job, it's our health, it's a lot of things. And Mercury in Aquarius is a very intellectual, logical energy, right? And Mercury in Pisces is different. Quite frankly, Mercury doesn't do very well in Pisces. But Mercury in Pisces energy can bring with it a lot of creativity, right? We can be very creative in our thinking, in our writing, that sort of thing. It's not the best energy for logic because that's more Aquarius, that's more Libra, that's more Gemini. But Pisces is more creative. So Mercury, our mind in a very creative sign like Pisces, can heighten creativity, can heighten spirituality, can heighten things like writing or even our intuition. So that's Mercury in Pisces. Overall, it's a more flexible energy when it comes to Mercury, when it comes to our thinking, our communication, our day-to-day, our lifestyle, our job, right? All those things. So we'll see that on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we start the first quarter square of the moon. Now this energy will last till 18th March, till the full moon in Virgo. And this energy is about making adjustments, making changes to the new moon energy that started on 2nd March, which is about closing out the past. So in many ways, this whole week, these 7 to 8 days, starting March 10th, Thursday, till the new moon on March 18th, will be about adjusting, right? Will be about how do I integrate this new moon energy that started on 2nd March into my life better. So that's happening on Thursday. And then on Sunday this week, we had the Sun-Neptune conjunction. Now, although the Sun-Neptune conjunction will happen on Sunday, we'll start to feel the energy from the beginning of the week, right? Because the Sun will be getting closer and closer and closer to Neptune. And this energy can manifest in two ways. One, positive, and two, negative, right? Any energy can manifest either positively or negatively. And the Sun-Neptune conjunction manifesting in a positive way can bring about a lot of spirituality, right? It can bring about a lot of spirituality to our consciousness, the Sun, spirituality to our identity. We might focus more on universal love and compassion, or there might be a need to focus on universal love and compassion, right? Neptune is universal love and compassion. Neptune is creativity. Neptune is spirituality. Neptune is the higher realms. And now it's meeting up with the Sun, our soul, our identity, our consciousness. So in many ways, our consciousness, our soul, our identity will need to integrate with Neptune, right? In many ways. So it can bring about a lot of spirituality. It can bring about the need to focus on universal love and compassion, or a lot of creativity. Neptune can also manifest negatively, and the negative manifestation of Neptune is confusion, it's delusion, it's deception, right? And with the Sun there, we might feel confused, right? We might feel confused about something in our life, or we might feel confused about our identity, or we might not be able to see things clearly. So this Neptune-Sun conjunction can also bring with it this inability to see things clearly, this fogginess, this confusion, and also a feeling of feeling slightly low, right? Because Neptune can do that. And this conjunction is in a sextile with the North Node Rahu. And what that means is that the conjunction, whether it manifests positively or negatively, right, will help us align more with the North Node, with Rahu, with our goals, with the future. And the key to managing Neptune, personally speaking, through my experience, is by channeling that Neptune energy into creative things, into spiritual things, into focusing on universal love and compassion, things like that, right? And I understand the Sun-Neptune aspect, right? Neptune is squaring my Sun. It will square it exact in some time. My Sun's at 24 degrees of Sag. Neptune right now is at 22. So it's building up that square to my sun. So I get it, right? I get that feeling that Neptune can bring of confusion, of feeling low, of feeling like, okay, I'm not able to see things clearly. But if that energy of Neptune is channeled in spiritual things, creative things, it doesn't feel that bad, honestly speaking. So that's towards the end of the week, but we'll start to feel this slowly build from the beginning of the week. And that's pretty much it for this week. But I would like to say that Mars and Venus again are really, really close this week, as they have been for the past 2 weeks. So that energy, drive, passion towards our projects, relationships, self-worth, values, skills, even appearances is there, or the frustration about the same things is there as well. And even this whole week, till the end of the week, they will be really, really close. But this is the week where the Mars, Venus, Pluto energy will start to decrease in intensity by the end of the week, right? When Mars and Venus will move on and Pluto will be at 28 degrees. And another highlight of this week is that Pluto will hit 28 degrees. It's not hit 28 degrees of Capricorn before, so that's new territory as well. And let me see what else is happening. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the Pisces influence that is building up, right? Because energies have moved out of Capricorn into Aquarius, and now there are 4 energies in Pisces this week. Pisces is universal love and compassion. It's closing out the past. It's about being spiritual, being creative, surrender. Pisces is also surrendering to a higher power. And Pisces can really soften up the energy of Capricorn, right? Capricorn can be very serious. Capricorn can be very serious, but Pisces can lend it that softness. So perhaps because there's so much energy with Mercury moving into Pisces from Aquarius and Mars and Venus both changing signs from Capricorn to Aquarius, perhaps the energies will soften up a little bit, that free-flowing energy, that flexible energy, that energy that can help us release the past, let go of the past is there. And that's pretty much it. Now, next week, we have a few things building up, right? We have the Sun getting ready to sextile Pluto, a positive aspect. We have a full moon in Virgo. We have a Venus-Uranus square, which can be challenging. And we also have the Sun leaving the sign of Pisces and entering the sign of Aries. And Aries is where we begin the astrological year. Right, Pisces is where we close it. So in many ways, this period right now is about closing things out with the new moon in Pisces energy. And that's pretty much it. So I would say the intensity of this week is perhaps a continuation of the energy of last week, right? With its intensity of Mars, Venus, Pluto, which can manifest as intense drive, intense energy to make things happen and go after what you want, or as intense anger, intense frustration, because Pluto is power, right? Pluto is pure power and Mars is aggression. And you can only imagine what happens when you put those together. But there's always the potential of using that power of Pluto and that drive of Mars to do positive things, to do good things. And with Venus there, if we focus on love, right? And with Pisces, the sign of universal love and compassion, if we focus on these things, we can manage this Mars-Pluto conjunction in a positive way. And the work of releasing, closing out the past will continue this week. The work that started with the new moon in Pisces on 2nd March. And by 10th of March, we will begin the first quarter square of the moon, a period of 8 days or so, 7 to 8 days or so. That is about making adjustments, making changes to accommodate the new moon energy. And now I will pull a few cards for the week's energies, right? So let's start with this deck today. Okay, let's do that again. It says worry. I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome, and perhaps this is a lesson card. The lesson we need to learn is that worrying will not change anything. And I know the energy is not easy right now. Mars, Venus, Pluto, and Saturn and Mercury also met up last week, right? So last week was quite intense in that sense. But worrying about things will not help, right? Worry is a Virgo thing, right? Worrying, anxiety, all that are Virgo related things. I'm not saying if you're a Virgo, you do all these things. I'm a Virgo rising. All I'm saying is worry, stress are ruled by Virgo. But right now, the energy is not in Virgo. It's in the opposite sign of Pisces. Pisces is what? It's not worry. Pisces is universal love and compassion. Pisces is surrendering to a higher power. So perhaps instead of worrying Virgo, we need to focus on Pisces, because that's where a lot of the energy is. Focus on universal love and compassion. Focus on a higher realm. Surrender to the universe. So I think that's what this card means. By the book. We've got this card after a long time, right? Probably because I've stopped using this deck as much. Anyway, so by the book, right? By the book is something that you do according to the rules, right? Very systematically. It's done per procedure, so to speak, right? In many ways, you can say this is how things are usually done. But like I said, now there's a lot of energy in Aquarius. Mars and Venus entered Aquarius on Sunday. And what is Aquarius? It's not by the book. It's anything but by the book. It's the rebel. It's the unconventional one, right? So don't do things by the book in that sense. Do things that work for you, that are unique to you, that are authentic to you, right? Follow your uniqueness. Don't follow the crowd. Okay, let's use this deck now. Compassion, and we got this. You are loved unconditionally. I think we got this not last week, but the week before that, if I'm not mistaken. And this is Pisces, right? Pisces is unconditional love, right? Venus is romantic love. It's conditional love, you can say. And Pisces, ruled by Neptune, is spiritual love. It's unconditional love. It's devotion. And it says compassion. You are loved unconditionally. And that's what we need to focus on. We need to have compassion this week, right? Because the way to navigate that Mars-Venus-Pluto conjunction, more than Venus there, it's the Mars-Pluto conjunction that brings it with it this raw power, right? To manage that, we need to have compassion. We need to focus on unconditional love. And if I recall, that week we also had some energies about forgiveness or something, if I'm not mistaken. But often forgiveness and unconditional love, they tie in together, and that's what Neptune is, right? Neptune is spiritual love. Neptune is unconditional love. So we need to focus on that. Thriving. So this card, I think, is referring to the fact that the new moon that we had on 2nd March was conjunct Jupiter, right? Jupiter is the planet of blessings, rewards, and healing even. And I did say, I think in the new moon in Pisces video, that we may not see the blessings. The energy is very intense, but those blessings are there, right? Because Jupiter was conjunct the new moon. So perhaps this is a reminder that there is a silver lining. There is a silver lining, or will be a silver lining if we can't see it now. Let's do one more card, and I think I'm going to use this deck. Yeah. It says diligence, and I think this is a reminder that continue whatever you're doing with diligence. Don't give up now. Because I think for the new moon, or was it the last week's horoscope, I don't know, one of those two, it did say patience, right? That we need to have patience. And sometimes when we run out of patience, we stop being diligent, we stop working, we stop following that path. But this is saying we must be diligent, we must have that patience, perhaps to see that silver lining, perhaps for the blessings to come. So I think that's what this card means, and I'll just sum it up real quick, right? Worrying will not change anything. Instead, this is a Virgo card. We need to focus on Pisces. The energy is in Pisces, which is universal love and compassion. And this card, compassion, you are loved unconditionally. Just cements that message of focusing on universal love and compassion, on being unconditional in your love, right? Being like Neptune. Neptune is unconditional. It's spiritual love. It doesn't say, I will love you if you do this for me. No, it just says, I will love you no matter what. So that's the energy that we need to focus on. And this is Aquarius, right? By the book. That don't do things by the book. Do things that are okay for you. Be unique, be authentic, do what you want to do, right? What's right for you. So that's that. And again, a reminder that continue with diligence. And there is that silver lining. The new moon in Pisces was conjunct Jupiter. So I think that's pretty much it for this week. And I will see you next week. Bye.